I'm in front of Westminster Abbey, and just now a few hundred metres away from me, King Charles and Queen Camilla are in the Diamond State Jubilee coach, decorated in gold, drawn by 6 Windsor grey horses. They are making their way down Whitehall, past Downing Street, past the Cenotaph. The rain is driving down hard here. The Dean of Westminster has come to the front gates of the Abbey to greet the royal couple as they arrive. And in the last few minutes, senior members of the royal family have made their entrance, escorted by guardsmen, protected by umbrellas. Before them, former Prime Ministers of the United Kingdom made their way into the Abbey. Governors General of the Commonwealth realms were escorted in. Kings and Queens of other nations, who must have some idea themselves of what this day is like, have also made their way into Westminster Abbey as events now approach. This is the BBC World Service with live coverage of the coronation of Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla. The journey from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey is one that King Charles has taken many times in his life. Today, to the sound of marching bands, he traces the path of his own life and the path of the history of the monarchy. As a 4-year-old, Charles joined his grandmother as they made their way to the palace, to the Abbey, for the coronation of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, not yet fully understanding that he would make this journey in his own right as king one day. Charles travels today by coach, but in 1997 he made this same journey by foot as he walked behind the coffin of his former wife, Diana, Princess of Wales. I remember being in the crowd that day and watching the slow procession towards the Abbey. On that day, on these roads, the idea of Charles marrying Camilla and one day taking her on this same journey to be crowned together seemed far-fetched. His sons, William and Harry, young boys grieving in 1997, return a quarter of a century later, their own rift unhealed. The King's procession has passed Trafalgar Square, where a small group of anti-monarchists or Republicans plan to protest. They are outnumbered here, but their presence on this King's journey reflects other views. Queen Elizabeth II's popularity, her integrity shielded the institution of the monarchy from criticism. But now, at the age of 74, approaching the Abbey, Charles must stand on his own. As he heads down Whitehall, he may reflect on the differing fate of previous kings who shared his name. On this street in 1649, King Charles I, an absolute ruler, faced absolute consequences. He was beheaded, and Britain became a republic led by Oliver Cromwell, whose own statue is down the road. That republic did not last long. Another Charles retook the throne. The King's procession now makes its way towards Westminster Abbey. I see it in front of me. The 6 Greys slowing their pace. The cars behind. The 4 escorts to the right. King Charles will make his way to the west door. He will become the 39th monarch to be crowned here since William the Conqueror in 1066. Among the sovereigns before Charles, some were boys whose legs barely touched the floor as they sat on St. Edward's coronation chair. Some were kings deposed and murdered. One queen ordered the execution of another. Each is now buried alongside the other inside the church, their own rivalry frozen in marble. On the steps of Westminster Abbey, the Archbishop of Canterbury, the senior cleric in the Church of England, now leads his own small procession, flanked by the senior bishops in the church of which Charles is supreme governor. Those bishops will escort the King and the Queen along the nave, past charity workers, past family members, past rifts, past royalty, into what is described as the Coronation Theatre. There, the coronation chair, the throne, the chairs of estate. For more than 7 decades, Charles will have been aware that the moment we now face is the moment he has spent his life preparing for. For 1,000 years, Westminster Abbey has been a valley of kings. Now, the silent guardsmen, the guardswomen on either side of the avenue, tell us that the new king now makes his final approach.